All right, students, let's practice adding fractions. Now we know when we add fractions, we must have common denominators. 12 and 3, those are not common denominators. So that's step number 1. Rewrite number 1 with common denominators. Now there are tricks. Trick number 1, see if the small denominator divides evenly into the big denominator. Since 3 divides evenly into 12, 12 makes a good common denominator. The common denominator is just a number that both of these can divide into. Now we need the numerators. Here's how you get them. What do you multiply times 12 to get 12? You multiply a number times 1 to get itself. Then we multiply the top by 1 as well. What do you multiply times 3 to get 12? Multiply by 4. Then I must also multiply the top by 4. Now keep the common denominator and add the numerators. 5 plus 8, that's 13. 13 over 12 is an improper fraction, but we don't mind improper fractions. We'll leave our answer just like that. When you work these problems, this is how I want you to show your work. Write the problem down, rewrite it with common denominators, then add the numerators. Here comes number 2. Now you know, to get common denominators, there are tricks. Trick number 1, see if the small number divides evenly into the big number. Well, 5 does not divide evenly into 6. Trick number 2, when these numbers are consecutive, like 5 and 6, multiply them together. 5 times 6 is 30. Remember, a common denominator is just a number that both of these denominators can divide into. 5 divides into 30. 6 divides into 30. Now let's get the numerators. What do you multiply times 5 to get 30? Is 6. So we multiply the top by 6. What do you multiply times 6 to get 30? Is 5. So we'll multiply the top by 5. Now keep the common denominator and add up the numerators. 18 plus 5, that's 23. Beautiful. Number 3 might be a little trickier to get a common denominator. In number 1, we saw that the small denominator divided evenly into the big denominator, so we used the big denominator. In number 2, 5 doesn't divide into 6, so we multiplied them together and got 30. In number 3, 8 doesn't divide into 12. We could multiply those together, but that's 96. 96 is an awfully big number to deal with. Maybe there's a smaller number we could use. Let's come down here onto scrap paper and see if we can find a smaller number. Here's how I do it. Take 8 and start writing the multiples of 8 down. There's 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4, 8 times 5. Do the same thing with 12. Here's 12 times 1, 12 times 2. Hey, wait a minute. There it is. 24 is a number that 8 and 12 both divide into. So 24 makes a good common denominator. Now we need the numerators. What do you multiply times 8 to get 24? Is 3. So multiply the top by 3. What do you multiply times 12 to get 24? Is 2. So multiply the top by 2. Now keep the common denominator and add 9 plus 14 is 23 24ths. Very nice. All right, your turn. Go work some homework problems. I'll see you later on today.